Edward Howell is a lecturer in politics at the University of Oxford. He's also a contributing writer to the Economist Intelligence Unit. Edward, appreciate your time. Is everybody guessing about what's happening in North Korea? Does anybody know?
Thank you. I think that we need to remember, obviously, that the state-controlled media and the numbers that the state-controlled media are expounding are most likely at the lower end of the true numbers. I think that's not the point. I think the bigger point here is that at the end of the day, COVID is exploding, and the word "exploding" is not my words; it's the words of the North Korean regime. And the fact that we're seeing cases now over 1.7 million in a population of 26 million highlights the grave consequences that this could have on human security and on the domestic lives of the North Korean population.
Yeah, and therefore, do you think North Korea will be forced to receive help that it is until now refused? And there's been some talk that possibly external assistance would have to be repackaged in China and then sent across the border to North Korea that way?
Yes, I think only Pyongyang can decide whether it accepts international aid and international vaccines. It has hitherto refused numerous offers of vaccines from other states. This is throughout the past year, the United Nations, and even only a few days ago from the new administration in Seoul, or the Yoon Suk-yeol administration in South Korea. A key reason here is that any vaccination scheme will mean that foreign organizations, experts, observers will need to enter the North Korean territory, not only once, but given the nature of vaccines, over a multiple period of time. And this is something that the North Korean regime wants to curb down upon, particularly in terms of its retreat inwards in relation to foreign influence.
And as far as I understand, there's a certain element of lockdown in place, but there are other parts of daily life, like factories and other places, where things are continuing as normal. And from what we've seen with the pandemic over almost 3 years now, is that you have to act quickly and you have to separate people from being together. You can't go halfway because the virus is so transmissible. Is that an indication of North Korea's economy being almost broken, that it can't afford a complete lockdown?
I mean, when North Korea became the first country to lock down in January 2020, closing its borders, including its border with its economic trade partner of China, this was the sanction above all sanctions. This was the ultimate sanction, ironically self-enforced on the North Korean economy. Moving forward now, it's interesting that state media have said that the Chinese model is one that the North Koreans could perhaps look at. In my view, if North Korea adopts the Chinese model, as we've seen in Shanghai, of complete lockdown, it's going to be deleterious, particularly given how shortages of food and caused by drought and agricultural mismanagement mean that any food delivery system, however one may conceptualize it, is not going to be, that may be possible in Shanghai, is not going to be possible in North Korea.
Edward Howell, thank you so much for your time.